Right, okay, so we're here with Newcastle fans. What's your names?
Niall.
Chris.
Right. Main question is, it's $1 million question, how much are you expecting, honestly, not what he's hoping for, but what he's expecting as Newcastle fans with the January transfer window budget?
I'd like to expect, budget-wise, I expect one player to come in, 30, 35 million. Look at Bakayoko from PSV that we've been linked with. I'll be happy with him.
Yeah, Bakayoko will be a good shout. I wouldn't mind backup centre-back as well. I think someone like Tomori or someone like that's cover for Shah. Or to bring him in for... Well, Shah was back up in the long run, I suppose, with his age and stuff, but we need backup, definitely, for the long run.
So you both mentioned right wing. Is that the most important thing? Because obviously it's split with a lot of Newcastle fans. A lot of fans think Wilson needs replacing and stuff like that, a striker. Some people think defender. You guys definitely right wing, yeah?
I think right wing's your main priority because you look at the strength in the team. That's your whole in the side.
Yeah, especially the style we play as well. And Miggy's got to go, and Miggy will be on his way. So we need backup definitely. Cause it just leaves Murphy on his own, really.
What fee are you expecting for Almiron if he goes? What sort of an acceptable? Because we've seen obviously MLS club come in last window and a bit crap offer. What do you reckon?
I don't think at this point now he's coming on 30. We're not going to get any more than 10. I'm not going to get any. We'll get double figures for him now.
I think 10, 12 tops sort of thing because of his age now and the amount of time he's got left in his contract. So,
the next question is, you've let us on perfectly, is outgoings as well. So you mentioned Miggy. Is there anyone that he's expect to go in the January transfer window?
I don't know if it's an expectation, but maybe Trippier's time's up. Maybe Wilson.
Who could you see coming in for these as well?
Well, that's the problem with PSR. We get rid of all of these and bring one in because we haven't got any wiggle room, have we? So
I'll get rid of the wages at this stage. I think it's not the money situation. I think we've got money to spend because of the obviously Gahey situation. So we've got money to spend. It's getting rid of the budget, really, isn't it? Getting the transfer fees out, getting the wages down.
Yeah, and then where do you expect Newcastle to finish at the end of the season? Now we're almost at the halfway point.
Honestly, with how inconsistent we've been, we could finish anywhere. If we play like we have for the last few games, I can see us getting into Europe somewhere like top 7, top 8. But then that depends on everyone else.
Yeah.
Best 4th, I think 7th, anywhere between 4th and 7th, really, realistically.
Yeah.
Anywhere in Europe would be good. Even Europe would be good. Be good. Just
what
to
about the conference as well?
In Europe.
Take that,
yeah, of course I would. Yeah, it's better than not being in Europe.
And what about a cup run as well? What's your expectations for that? Obviously, we've just seen the draw. What do you reckon?
For the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Well, obviously the League Cup we're already in the semi-final. So
the League Cup, rather. Yeah.
I'd like to win it, but I don't expect us to get anything from Arsenal away. Then it's holding on here.
Yeah, if we can hold on and just even be 1-0 down or be in touching distance and getting back here, and on the night with a crowd of that second leg, we've done it. Yeah. We can prove we can beat them. We've beat them a couple of times the last few years. So.
We're here with Newcastle fans. What's your names?
Finn. Steve.
Right, $1 million question before we jump into it. What are you expecting the Newcastle January transfer window budget is going to be? Not what you're hoping for, but honestly, what are you expecting?
It's a good question. Do you know that?
No, I guess we've probably got to offload some players first, haven't we? So, I guess, 50 maybe?
50 million, yeah.
Okay.
And then what do you think is Newcastle's number one transfer target? What's what position, first of all, that we need strengthening more than any other?
Blimey. The back line, I suppose. I guess depending on kind of how the injuries look. If Sven Botman comes back into play, then I suppose maybe we don't need that. But and of course, if we lose Alexander Isaac,
he's expecting that might happen because obviously the Arsenal links just refuse to go away. Do you reckon that is any possibility, or is that just paper talk?
That's really good because we live in Sweden actually, and we actually follow it. We follow as much as we can on the Swedish news to see kind of what's happening, and we do see quite a lot of things with kind of Arsenal kind of in various. Yeah, clips and stuff, but I'm just hoping that's just paper talk as opposed to kind of any reality in it.
Is he the best player since Ibrahimovic? Swedish?
I mean, he has to be by far. Yeah, for sure.
What's your thoughts on him going forward then? Obviously, international stuff. He's got a fantastic attacking teammate as well.
Yeah, I suppose that was the thing that we discussed, wasn't it? Whether if Isak did move on to Arsenal, whether we could take the other guy.
Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah, fantastic player.
So that would be that would be okay. I think I could live with kind of him moving on and taking the money and not paying quite as much for him. But
what would you say Isak's valuation is then? What would you honestly say?
I mean, that's a good question, isn't it? I mean, what is it? It's 120, isn't it? 120 million?
To you,
I don't know. But isn't that what they're saying in the paper? That's what he's worth. But I mean, it has to be over 100 million before, because otherwise we'll just be hammered again in the transfer window to buy somebody else, unless we can pick up another Swede that we.
So what's the connection with Newcastle? How long have you been following Newcastle, and what's kind of fetched you over?
Well, I'm from here. I'm from the northeast, and we live over there. And I work over there, and my son is half British, half
Swedish,
Swedish.
half English.
But he has to understand that this is the place to come when
This
you come
is
there. Yeah, and he is. You're not allowed to be any other supporter of any other team. If you're
Fully didn't do it.
no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't choose anybody any other team,
No.
would you? No.
Yeah.
He's doing very well by saying the right thing.
Fantastic. All over the globe, worldwide. So, do you think there's any players that are going to have to leave Newcastle, or you expect to leave in the January transfer window as well?
Maybe Almiron.
Almiron,
Almiron,
possibly,
Yeah.
How much do you think Newcastle will get for him? Because obviously an MLS club came in the last window, but it wasn't a good enough offer. What do you reckon the club would accept for him?
30 maybe.
30, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I honestly, I'm making any guess.
It's all opinion. It's football's an opinion game.
Yeah, for sure.
He can't be too expensive.
No, I guess not. I mean, I suppose it would be a shame if Longstaff left, only just for the fact that he's grown up in the northeast.
Yeah.
I think that would be a shame. But I understand that we need to. Most players are up for sale, aren't they? I think if we can draw in some money to be able to spend in the next.
Who's the number one transfer target for you guys? Who would you like to see fetched in?
Actually, that Swede would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Swede.
I mean, yes, to have them.
He'd be really expensive because he's literally just set the world on fire with his Champions League goals. I think we were linked with him last year and he was kind of under the radar. This year, he's just, everyone knows who he is now.
Probably going to be too expensive, I suppose, now, unless we sell Isaac, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay, so here with Newcastle fan. What's your name, mate?
David.
David. Honestly, not what your heart's saying. What do you expect Newcastle's January transfer budget to be?
I think that we're only allowed 2 players. We're going to have to maybe sell.
A big player or just what?
You're probably looking at another homegrown talent. So maybe to Longstaff, Almiron, and I think if the goalkeeper situation was different, Dubravka would probably leave as well. So you're probably looking at about 100,000 kitty.
Yeah.
If you could sell 3, maybe 70 with the 2.
Yeah.
Longstaff about 35 million.
And what do you think the number one priority position is before we get into a specific name? What do you reckon the weakest position is for Newcastle?
I would probably go for a striker. You need a backup for Isaac. Wilson's not going to get his contract renewed. We're overwhelmed with midfielders.
Yeah.
And your defenders, you've got enough to survive with until the summer.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind you still got Target there who hasn't featured. You definitely need a striker.
Yeah. That number one for you, yeah.
The number one. We've got goalkeepers there. The defenders are all right. You've probably got 5. You've got 8 plus midfielders. And you can also push Gordon up front if need be. So,
what do you think of Gordon up front? I've seen him a couple of times at Newcastle. He has getting a couple, but
he's getting a couple, but I think that you're probably best off putting 2 up.
Yeah.
If you're going to put Gordon up, because he's not an out-and-out striker that can, like Rooney or somebody like that. We tried it with Joe Linton, Steve Bruce, didn't work.
For what it's worth, I agree. I think a striker is the number one because I think we've been very lucky that Isaac hasn't picked up an injury the same time Callum Wilson has. It just shows you if that happened, the young lad, do you reckon he would be good enough for Newcastle to fill the boot sort of thing? Or
I would probably start putting him in if we get 2-goal lead.
Yeah. Give him minutes.
But give him minutes. Get to about 80 minutes, give him the last 10, 15 minutes, break him in that way, then you'll get used to where the team needs him to be.
Yeah.
How the team plays, because I don't think being a player you can relax that little bit more when you're playing. I think you've got that too much pressure on yourself. Yeah. I have to now go and score a goal, whereas the more minutes on the pitch, it's like grassroots, the more minutes on the pitch you give somebody, they create a connection with the team where they need to be, where they need to be for crosses, when they play the ball out wide, do I need to burst into the box or whatever? So it's just positioning and getting used to how your teammates play.
Yeah. Have you got any names who you'd like to see fetched in as well? Who would be your number one signing?
To be honest, I don't have one because I coach football as well. I coach under 13 girls, so I would be looking for just somebody who either can hold the ball up, but then also once you've held it up, get it wide and know where you need to go. So I think that side of things, it's more technical. I would put my trust in Eddie.
Yeah, and let him.
He knows what he needs. He knows how his game plan for each match against each position, each team is. So I know there's about 52,000 managers in there every game, but I'd put my trust in him to pick. He'll have a few, he'll have backups, but then I might get to the end where I just need to get somebody in.
Yeah.
So then they've got plan B. So I know we've got quite a bit of money to spend if we're allowed, but to be honest, I don't know, hand on heart, I could put my finger on one and say they'd make a difference.
Yeah. And then where do you think Newcastle, obviously we're nearly at the midpoint now, where do you think Newcastle are going to finish at the end of the season?
I would be happy with Europe, even if it was the lower end of
Conference
Europe.
or anything, or just anything?
Just, I think it's keeping there. It's keeping the momentum going. I know all the players would want to go into the Champions League again. All the fans would want Champions League. But hand on heart, I think to get into Europe again, that gives them something to look forward to. The players something to look forward to, and it also makes the club more appealing. Just being in some sort of Europe for bargaining chip.
Yeah, for signings.
For signings, for that player that they might think, I might save 5 million now because we're into Europe, so then that can be put.
Probably keep the players happy as well. You've got the top stars here and stuff like that. A lot of them know if they left Newcastle, they would walk into another Champions League.
There is a couple of players that obviously you see on YouTube. You've got the AC Milan defender. I think he probably will come because everybody wants to play in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But then it's that glimmer of being he's 29, Champions League, Europe. So I think just staying around that area and picking up draws where maybe he's looking at losses.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't think anybody would mind the team going out, losing the way they're playing, just attack all the time.